Hello ladies and gentlemen, Screen Scene Guru here, coming at you with some more television reviews. This is going into some 911 and also some Curse of Oak Island, because we got some new episodes dropping. Really interesting stuff here, and we got the announcement of Ancient Aliens Returns. So a lot of news dropping here on the channel. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe if you haven't already. Trying to get the channel up from 82 subscribers. Trying to crack the hundo this year, guys. I've already cracked 300 videos on YouTube, so I do appreciate the support. Going into this is our last episode of 911 for 2025. This episode is titled Family History. This is Season 9, Episode 6. Athena must revisit a painful part of her past when answering a call for help. Meanwhile, the 118 takes a big step forward. So we get to see Athena answering a call about a girl who was bullied on social media. She took pills to end her life, similar to what happened to Athena's daughter at the beginning of the series, where she also faced a similar situation where she was bullied online, forced to take pills, and luckily Athena got her to the hospital in time. This situation is very similar to what happened in real life. They end up tracking back the IP accounts and addresses from the phone text messages, and they end up finding out it was this girl's mother, her own mother, who was sending these messages, not her friends like they thought. So very interesting episode here. They mirrored real life events, similar to, there was an episode where a cop ended up busting a woman's windshield and dragging her out of the car. That actually happened. So very interesting, the writing going on with Ryan Murphy. He did announce his series All's Fair, the Kim Kardashian leading show, is going to be renewed for a season 2. So that's very interesting, given that not a lot of people were watching it. They were actually talking a lot of mad shit about it. But really interesting episode here. We get to see Chimmy is officially made captain of the 118, which it's been a long time coming. He's been sub-captain for a long time after Bobby passed. And I think that it's better for Chimmy to become captain than for them to bring in someone else. Really awesome performances all around. It does suck that we're going to have to wait till January of 8th, I believe. So next year, 2026, for any more 911 or Nashville. So kind of wish that he would have given us a holiday episode to make us, simmer on. But I understand there's a lot of television going on right now, and he's got to make plans for other scheduling shows. But I do want to discuss real quick Curse of Oak Island, because they've brought back the show. This is now on season 13, which is amazing. I watched the very first episode, which is titled The Comeback, as the Laginas and the team relaunch their search for the treasure of Oak Island. A stunning revelation may help provide the Knights Templar were on Oak Island centuries ago. So a lot of really interesting facts being discovered, new areas that they're drilling in, smaller boreholes to try to extract material. They believe there's a mound of gold, non-ferrous material around the island. So really interesting stuff. So far they've got 4 episodes out already. So I'm definitely going to be diving on into those. Real quick, I do want to go into some movie notes. Talking about how they dropped the first official trailer for the Hunger Games, Sunrise on the Reaping. Also, 3-Eye Atlas news. Apparently, some people are talking about how it is, in fact, not a comet or a meteorite. Some people in government, after this Age of Disclosure documentary came out, now they're coming out and claiming that they know certain things and they are afraid the public isn't ready for it. So that's very interesting. Bitcoin has plummeted in its value in the last week and a half. So that's really interesting that's going on. Warner Brothers is officially taking bids for sale. And it looks like the Saudis have teamed up with Zack Snyder to try to reboot his universe. We don't know exactly if that will happen or not. And apparently they want to reboot it on Netflix. So that's also an interesting thing. I mentioned Ancient Aliens returned with this final episode for the year. They've been slowly releasing episodes throughout the year. I just haven't been catching up. Green Lanterns has been paused, or pushed back, should I say, delayed until late summer of 2026. So we were supposed to get Lanterns and then Supergirl next year in 2026. Now we're getting Supergirl first and then Lanterns. So a bit of a switcheroo with the time scale. Kristen Bell, Josh Gad, and India Menzel, the three main leading stars in the Frozen franchise, are going to be paid $60 million each for the next two Frozen installments, Frozen 3 and Frozen 4, and that's just for the voice roles. 30,000 or 30 million, should I say, for each project, so it ultimately comes together as 60 million per person. But really interesting that they're getting that outrageous pay jump when there are many other people working on the films that aren't getting paid. So going on to more canceled projects from Warner Brothers. Unfortunately, due to the future sale of the company, they're reducing the amount of projects that are coming out. We had heard years ago that there was a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle, The Last Ronin movie being developed, and even a video game as well. Well, now the people at Warner Brothers have discussed it has been scrapped officially, and the game isn't even coming out, as well as the Wonder Woman game that was supposed to be being released, but now it has apparently not coming out. So really unfortunate stuff from there. The Warner Brothers games, because James Gunn did announce when Suicide Squad was still coming out that the games would tie into the bigger universe, and we unfortunately haven't seen that play out yet. Pluribus is getting really big viewership records on Apple TV Plus. Also, House of the Dragon. They are finished shooting production for season 3. Figured I'd wear a bit of swag, show off the support. I do have the first 2 seasons of House of Dragon. I haven't gotten into them yet, but that might be something I do start watching. So yeah, I wanted to say season 3 of production is wrapped. They're now finishing up editing. They did announce more Game of Thrones spin-off projects from Warner Brothers happening, like this Night of the Seven Kingdoms. It may be renewed for more than just 1 season. They announced if it's good enough, it may get multiple seasons. Also, House of the Dragon Season 4 has been confirmed. It took us a long time to get this confirmation because we weren't sure exactly the amount of money they're spending on it. They're spending quite a bit more than they did when they were making House of the Dragon. Game of Thrones. So even though that seemed like a big project, House of Dragon is much more expensive, hence the long wait time. Bruce Campbell is supposed to return in the next Evil Dead Burn as Ash. So this is really fantastic news for Evil Dead fans, classic Evil Dead fans, fans of Sam Raimi. I haven't been a big personal fan of the Evil Dead franchise since they made the last 2. I felt like the last 2 were quite dumb. But if they do a comedy-led Evil Dead, maybe that might do better. I kind of hope that they go back towards that. But that's just me. Dragonballsuper is set to return in April of 2026 with all new creatives because we of course lost Toriyama, and we just recently heard that the director of Dragon Ball Super Broly just passed away as well, and he wasn't even that old. So R.I.P. to the director of Dragon Ball Broly. So like I said, Warner Brothers is selling right now. Currently the top bids for Warner Brothers is Netflix, Comcast, Universal, Paramount, and Netflix. And apparently the Saudis, the Crown Prince, Riyadh, a couple others, they've already gotten ownership of some of the Raw, WWE, SmackDown sporting events that are happening next year in 2026. They're apparently teaming up with the Ellisons at Paramount to do some stuff, as well as supposedly they want to team up with Netflix, is the story I'm hearing, to reboot the Snyderverse if they can manage to get control of Warner Brothers, which I don't know how this would affect James Gunn's universe if they bring back the Snyderverse. I think it's been a bit too long of a wait for that to bring it back, but with the money they're throwing around, anything is possible. So yeah, I want to talk about how Marvin Jones III is apparently cast in Spider-Man Brand New Day as Tombstone. I've talked about this before, but now they're confirming that he's supposedly going to be a lead character in this new trilogy of Spider-Man films. I hadn't heard that before, but that is a new current story. Furiosa, a Mad Max saga, is now currently on Netflix, and it has a renewed life now that it's hit streaming. It was on HBO Max a few years ago, I believe, when it came out, but not a lot of people have HBO. It tends to movies tend to be forgotten on there. But some AI generated images have come out, Sora, of different things from Zootopia 2 to Avengers Doomsday images of people on set taking cast photos. A lot of this has been fake images shared across multiple platforms. The Carters were recently at the F1 Las Vegas Grand Prix, so that was really cool to see them. Queen Bee, Beyonce racing again for the second time because she went back in, I believe, 2007 and took a photo shoot, raced, race car, and then she did the exact same thing in 2025. I think this was much hype because of the Brad Pitt F1 movie, perhaps. Sisu 2, Road to Revenge, is finally hitting theaters, and we're seeing a lot of people getting really excited about that. Talked about how Wicked for Good is doing really well in the box office. And of course, Age of Disclosure documentary came out on Prime Video. It is, however, $20 to rent, so I kind of feel bad for the people that have to pay for it. I do believe it should have been free. President Trump recently made a very interesting request from the Ellisons over at Paramount. He apparently is asking them to fast track a Rush Hour 4, which I didn't think he was a big fan of the franchise, but apparently he is. There's also a Far Cry series in development at FX with Noah Hawley in production from, this is of course the guy who did Alien Earth and of course Fargo for FX. Now he's attached to produce it with Rob Mack, the star from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. He will be leading the series for Far Cry, so that sounds really interesting. I haven't played the game, but the fact they want to make this into a show tells me they're very invested. And Blumhouse recently announced the new Exorcist film they're working on will have Scarlett Johansson as the lead. We're not exactly sure what the story is or anything else, but the fact they've got her is really good news. And even WWE wrestling superstar AJ Lee recently announced that she is writing, with her writing partner, an animated story for Toei Animation, the company behind the Dragon Ball franchise. So really interesting stuff there. She talked about how Sailor Moon and Dragon Ball Z is stuff she grew up on. So it's really awesome for her to get a chance to creatively give back to the community. Netflix One Piece Season 3 has officially started its production. So fans of the One Piece series, Season 3 has already begun. And like I said, Ryan Murphy's All's Fair has been renewed for a second season. So very interesting stuff there as well. I do believe that will do it for all the television reviews, all the movie news scoops I have. Like I say, be sure to subscribe if you haven't already. Tell your friends about the channel. You can follow me on Instagram, TikTok, Threads, Facebook, at Scene Screen Guru. If you'd like to, hit me up there. Until next time, guys, have a good one. Bye-bye.